Welcome to Panda Studios. Now that you're here, don't forget to join the Panda Force and hit that subscribe button. Today we're talking about Baelin's Route, an epic NPC Man adventure.
Baelin's Route is a video done by Viva La Dirt League following their fisherman character by the name of Baelin, set in the Epic NPC Man universe. The video for this that we're doing will be linked in the description down below. Definitely go check it out. But the short starts with following Baelin through his daily routine until he gets recruited by this toxic player and involved in a side quest which has a series of combats that take place, culminating in Baelin knocking out the toxic player and completing the quest on his own, only to then return to Honeywood at the end.
I absolutely love Viva La Dirt League, and this is like the culmination of all the work and all the stories that they've created previously in their YouTube videos, and like there's just all sorts of little breadcrumbs that you can, if you previously watched the videos, you can see where it's culminated to, and this in itself is just like such a high quality. Like they already have pretty high quality videos. This is just very high quality, and like the acting in itself, which Rowan plays Baelin, Phoenix Cross plays Willow, and Adam plays the toxic PC. I'm sure he has a name, but I'm not familiar with like those. Like he's a regular character, but he's not Baelin. He's not the Bodger, the blacksmith.
No, but he is usually one of the robbers.
Yeah, he's one of the muggers.
Yeah, he's one of the muggers.
Yeah, there's so much that just in this look, they do several different things that are all I enjoy greatly. Yeah. Go watch their stuff, but I just want to praise this, like all the acting of those three particular people, because they're like the ones who get pretty much all the time, except for someone who's in an orc costume. But
I don't know who it is, to be honest.
He plays an orc and he does it well.
Yeah,
it's not. But like Rowan, he has one line of dialogue, and he has but he says it in different ways. He has to act far more physically.
Yeah,
and I mean, he's absolutely brilliant. Like,
oh yeah, like in regards to like how he says things, like there is a time where they're talking about like running away from a particular event that's going on, and up until then, like Baelin's character, his line of dialogue is "Morning, nice day for fishing, ain't it?" Haha. In a very cheerful manner, and I definitely did not do it justice. I assure you, Rowan does it so much better. But that's the only dialogue he says. But like he often says "morning" for most of his like talking points. But there's one point where they're running, or where he gets upset and he goes "morning." Like I love how they portrayed it.
And like in his little like way he like reacts to the fighting and all this, like it's great. And then you've Phoenix Cross, like her playing like a vulnerable young woman who is basically needing them to take her on an escort quest. If you've ever played an RPG or any game with these agonizing quests where you have to have someone help someone through an area and it's always the most convoluted way.
Yeah.
And there's an arbitrary guard that stops them from going the way the player character wants to go and making him more upset. And you can't fast travel.
Of course.
Like, it's those little things that I love, and how she reacts, because whenever Baelin says his script, she literally responds to it like he's saying something far deeper.
Yeah. Yeah, the acting across the board in this is great. And like I will say, like, even Adam, like, I think he did a great job at portraying a toxic style player, because he's crossed with the game, like this particular side quest. He's crossed with how it operates. Like when the NPCs aren't doing exactly what he says, he's shoving them around and trying to force them. Like he's playing this like sort of, and he does a great job at portraying it.
Well, that's what's so great is that it's a toxic like character, but he's so relatable because you find yourself in those situations sometimes where you're like caught in an escort quest and you hate escort quests even though you
Yeah.
like the idea, the concept, all the other aspects of it. And the frustrations expresses are so great. Like, oh, it's fast travel. I can't fast travel. And then he wants to go on this one direct route, like I mentioned before, and the guards are there, and he's mad, and he tries to like talk his way through, and they immediately get hostile to him,
Yeah.
and his reactions and how it's very relatable. Like
Oh yeah.
you fall like that's what I love about that is like you really find you can easily put yourself in those character shoes because they're unique enough to where you know who they are beyond the fact that it's Adam or it's Rowan, and that's where but they're just vague enough to where you can fit in there without it being without it breaking the immersion.
Yes.
And then just like the other things that I just have to compliment. Besides the fact that I like somehow when you film Australia or New Zealand, it looks epic and amazing. When in reality, it's a horrifying desert with things trying to constantly kill you. But they're more afraid of what we have around in the United States that'll kill them.
Yeah.
Because you're used to the monster devil, you know. But just the scenery when they have these wide shots, kind of similar and akin to Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
where they're just showing this like epic landscape that they're all having to traverse,
Yeah.
and it looks gorgeous, and it doesn't feel green screened or digitally like imposed on there, even though it
Yeah.
may be. The quality is enough to where you really get a sense of that sweeping. Any of this
Absolutely.
and they had to have done a shot with, which I want to compliment the guy, whoever did the camera work and directed the cinematography. It looked great.
Oh, it did. It absolutely did. Like even there's one like big battle that Baelin has with like 5 or 6 orcs or something. And it's shot in a very cheesy way with like the blocking and everything, but it's still well done. Like even as cheesy as that scene is, the cinematography for it, in my opinion, was still really great. It was still very enjoyable, and honestly, like it made me laugh.
And my
Which I mean, to be fair, this whole thing made me laugh.
I was laughing the whole time. I'm kind of like sucked into their entertainment style to where like like you'll watch things that people watch that they're like really sucked into and you're like, why is that funny? But when you get the joke, when you're in on it,
Yeah, when you're in on it, it makes sense.
it makes a lot of sense. And this show definitely just this group, they do a great job of really bringing you into that.
Yeah,
And like one of the most memorable things about this video is in the storytelling, the way they did the storytelling, to where in the beginning, Baelin is doing his route, and he like ignores a guy being robbed and just pushes his way through his couple that's on the road, completely ignoring them, and he's just saying morning, nice day for fishing to everyone, even when the guy's asking for help with the knife to his throat. And then at the end, when he's doing that exact same thing, he actually knocks out the guy who has the knife and robbing the guy. And he's like, I can't believe you're robbing me again.
yeah,
And then instead of walking through the couple, he walks around them, and which causes, instead of them fighting, actually causes them to make up, because when he would walk through them, they would always end up fighting more. But this time, since he goes around them, they're able to resolve their conflict instead of like whatever ends up happening. And it's those little thing. And Alan, who is the garlic salesman, he like you can see in his facial expression, because that's usually he's the epic NPC man. His facial expressions, like just of like how he's like responding and expressing, really helps sell the joke.
yeah.
And I just love that like little element of storytelling too, to give it's a complete story, a full.
Yeah, it is. And I think for something that was like 35 minutes long or so, like it does a really, really good job of Baelin having a complete like character growth arc and story to it. That's, I do hope that some of the elements that came out of this for Baelin's character do continue in the rest of the Epic NPC Man like shorts that they do. Not necessarily a big way, but like it'd be nice to see some certain elements to it in the background. But it's still, even if it's just a self-contained story, like it's really well done.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I can't recommend this more.
Yes,
Go watch it.
absolutely go watch it.
And I love this, and this is a result of a Kickstarter campaign. They did a fantastic job, and I appreciate all the people who supported them to give us this content to be greatly entertained. Which is the whole reason, like I'm even wanted to talk about their videos, just because it's such a good quality, and they have millions of followers, and we're tiny little people. But I just want to comment on how much I enjoyed that, like, because it feels akin to the stuff that we're normally trying to talk about, of like just random animes and maybe various movies.
But that's gonna be it for us on Baelin's route.
Thank you.
Have a good one. We hope you enjoyed that. We'd love to hear your thoughts on Baelin's route in the comments down below. And while you're there, don't forget to give this video a like. And now that you're part of the Panda Force, hit that bell icon for future orders.
If you're interested in gaming, check us out on Twitch. For updates, follow us on Twitter, description, and link down below.